welcome back once again to Cinema Synergy, Season 2, Episode 9, The Wraith. Wonderful, awful, wonderful... What the hell was that?
That's my fault.
Little 80s cult classic picked up by our very own Doug this evening. Yep. And we're going to be chatting up about that, but before we get, we're going to wait on that for a minute. We have a pitch by Sir Jordan, who's enjoying his dinner at the moment.
So we can do the pitch later on in the session rather than the beginning as per normal.
That's what I was alluding to.
I'll do it.
I did the pitch?
Did the pitch?
Alright.
Okay. Do I have time?
Yes, you have time. It's 90
90
seconds.
second pitch.
Everyone's gone over. I see maybe
I
hiding
did.
over the rest of us.
Under.
I timed mine.
You were under, but
Oh,
you
I missed
also
yours,
like
so-
on the fly.
No, you didn't. Mine was grabbers.
No, I missed it, Doug.
The dark sour is what mine was. Nice. Okay, so. Let's start the clock.
I'll
Well,
start
you can
when you
introduce it
start.
and then you-
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm going to pitch Alex Cox's 1984 film classic.
It's not an Italian name.
No, it's not an Italian movie, strangely enough.
But I absolutely love that name, Alex.
Mind blown.
Nobody saw it coming.
Oh man, Alex Cox's 1984 film classic Repo Man,
Oh.
starring fucking Emilio Estevez, Harry Dean Stanton, a whole lot of other people whose names I can't remember right now because of course I didn't fucking actually prepare anything. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's Alex Cox's best movie. Like after this he did other stuff that's more like, this used to be really famous in his famous movie, but like after that he did a whole bunch of other stuff like Sid and Nancy, SLC Punk. I don't like him quite as much, and like this has been like shunted to like the wayside as opposed to like his newer films, but it's awesome. It's 1984. It's like a punk rock guy played by Emilio Estevez who doesn't know what the hell he's doing in life. Works at a grocery store at night, stocking shelves, which is feels good to me, right? For a number of reasons. But
For reasons.
like he goes on this fucking weird adventure and starts repossessing cars with Harry Dean Stanton like at night and doing all this like crazy shit, and there's aliens involved. And just like government conspiracies and all this weird crap happening. There's like a professor running around that's like talking about you should absolutely enjoy radiation. You get 10 chest x-rays a year. Like all this like crazy shit. It's so awesome. It's one of the best movies in the entire world, right? And like nobody likes it anymore. It sucks. If anytime I bring up Repo Man to somebody, they think I'm talking about Repo the Genetic Opera. And I'm like, fuck you, Hot Topic guy.
I also thought you were talking about Repo Opera. I apologize.
I'm like, take off your pants with the rings in them. You know, get your little hair out of your eyes there and watch fucking actual Repo Man. Enjoy it. Alright? Stop whining. You're gonna goddamn love this. It's so good. I love it. I love Repo Man a lot. It's eminently quotable. It's really well filmed. On a budget of like, it had to be in the thousands of dollars because the special effects are terrible and like everything's filmed on location in like nasty, weird 1980s Los Angeles. And the soundtrack is awesome because unlike a whole lot of other movies with punk rock people in it, this actually has a punk soundtrack. It's got like Circle Jerks and Black Flag and all kinds of bands like
Pretty
that.
baller.
That makes me
Suicidal
$100.
Tendencies.
What is for the ladies? Emilio Estevez's butt.
Yeah, his
While he's
yeah.
doing it in the car with the lady.
Yeah, and he's just tidy whities at one point. It's super tight, tiny underwear.
Yeah.
And it's a young Emilio Estevez. This is
Uh-huh.
a pre-Young Guns.
Super young.
Emilio
So
Estevez,
this is
so
like,
enjoy
if
that.
I gotta pick a Sheen brother, it's Emilio Estevez,
It's
not
definitely
Charlie Sheen.
Estevez. Yeah,
So I'm going with it.
100% Estevez.
I will honestly, I will not lie to you, I loved Mighty Ducks.
Nice.
So I'm totally into Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, so watch
How
this
did
movie.
the choose Charlie Sheen?
Yeah. Oh, also, the guy from freaking Conan the Destroyer who played the Thief, he's in it as this awesome dude who just like works with all the other repo men and does all that.
Does he repo camels?
He has all these weird conspiracy theories, and it's great. Like he talks about, like at one point he talks about like how everyone from like Aztec times was abducted by aliens and brought into the future, and that's where like all the people come from. It's like that it's been like the same amount of people in like any civilization that that vanishes. They just went to the future, so that's why there's no people then, and there's
Wow.
no people. Yeah, and it's great. And he has my favorite quote. This is the movie I got the John Wayne thing.
John Wayne was a real man!
John Wayne was a real man. Like, let me lay
I thought that was just you.
Let me lay at the top for you, right? He's telling all the repo men, John Wayne was a fag. And they're all like, no. And he's like, yes, he was, you boys. One time I went to his house in Redondo Beach to install two-way mirrors, and he opened the door in a dress. Like they're all trying to fucking defend like
John
Wayne's heterosexuality. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. A lot of guys like to watch their buddies fuck and all this.
I honestly thought John Wayne was a real man was just you.
Just you, yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell me you also stole Jesus pinstripe tits from
No, Jesus pinstripe tits is original.
Some frame OC right there.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's my pitch. I know it's like fucking all over the place.
That's
Whatever.
fine.
But, I get so excited talking about Repo Man because it's one of the best movies of all time.
We'll throw a link up.
Yeah, we'll throw a link out
We
there.
should throw a link
Yeah,
up.
link down below. So yeah, that would be Jordan Frame the movie for. Oh my god. So jumping ahead to 1986.
So speaking of Estevez brothers and Sheens,
That's true.
The Wraith, 1984.
86.
86.
Written and directed by Mike Marvin.
Okay.
This movie and I are
never
the
heard
same
of it.
He
age.
also directed Hot Hamburger, the movie,
Yep.
which is awesome.
I'm sorry,
Also
you say
1986.
hamburger?
Hamburger.
He did.
No, it's not Hot Hamburger. It's just Hamburger.
Just
No,
Hamburger.
but he did do a movie called Hot Dogs. About skiing, obviously.
Oh yeah.
All right, so for
He
anyone who
produced
didn't watch it and just decided they wanted to listen to us talk about it, The Wraith is about an angry spirit who was murdered by a gang of road pirates.
No. Drag racers. There's not even really I wouldn't even call them road pirates.
The guy in the movie called him road pirates.
George
Calls them road pirates.
That's what made me think of Mad Max.
The
That's what really set the tone.
The character's name is George in the Daytona. Calls them road pirates.
So he gets murdered by these guys in a flashback scene, and he's
Several
showing
flashback
up to kill them, as per
In
the rules of
revenge.
angry spiritness. Because
Technically less of a wraith, more of a revenant.
more of a what the fuck.
But he does it in style.
He does it in pure 80s style. This movie has supplanted in my mind the concept of a 1980s movie. I don't know what it was before.
But it's
Might have
this
been
now.
RoboCop.
It's this now.
It's this now. This movie is concentrated 80s. This shouldn't have been one movie. You're supposed to add water to this and make 4 movies out of it. Like this movie wasn't meant to be consumed by itself. It hits pretty much every 80s movie stereotype imaginable. There's lights on shit that shouldn't have lights. It tries the Spas 12 with a wooden stock and foldable stock, mind you, and lights.
Because that made it look more science fiction-y.
Like the sleek black car with the sleek black still suit. Just
Did you say still suit?
He did say
giant
still suit.
nerd.
He also spills it though.
it's totally a still suit.
He
Come on.
kind of looks like the guy from Blaster Masters.
Like
It's supposed to be,
The
again,
glo-
inspired by Road
the
Warrior.
glossy sleek black car, the 80s songs all over the place.
That I actually recognize.
That you actually recognize, like the 80s montage, the cutscenes.
Girls on
The girls on the roller skates, like dancing. The guys, like who are just like
Tools.
the guys who are tools. The guy with the midriff shirt. The guy cooking hamburgers and just being super chatty and loving his job all the time. Like, I'll make these burgers so rare, a good vet will have them on their feet in 10 minutes. No one who cooks burgers for a living says anything like that. They say, get out of my face. Like,
You obviously did not work at the same burger place that me and Trav did.
that's
The amount of
fair
harassment.
and true.
Trav's not like normal though, so.
Get away from this backboard.
It's just, it hits pretty much, if you can think of a stereotype of an 80s movie,
It's in here somewhere.
it's in here somewhere.
There's a beach scene in Arizona.
It's a swimming hole.
It's a beach scene in Arizona.
There were palm trees in Arizona.
All right.
I think there are palm trees in Arizona.
I didn't actually do this before. I'm going to try to find a list of 80s movie stereotypes, and we'll go through them. and see what ones that this movie hits on.
I kid you not. I honestly thought for that entire beach scene until the second time, actually, until they were the first scene where they're paddling along in the little
The life raft.
on the life rafts. I honestly thought that they were at some abandoned quarry that had flooded. And I didn't doubt that they would make such terrible life decisions. But then I realized they were at a river, which completely altered my perception of the scene. I was like, there's a lot of people for not a lot of water in that case. But I honestly thought they were in a flooded quarry, which is super unsafe.
Well, it depends on what time that quarry got flooded. If it was flooded during the 50s,
I mean, a flooded quarry is not a good place to be hanging out, but I believe that a bunch of idiot teenagers went in there.
And of course, if it was flooded during the late 90s, then it's just going to turn a river orange in a few years anyway. But
Oh,
too soon?
God, you're.
it was this past year.
I thought it was interesting, plotline wise. If I was not supposed to figure out that Charlie Sheen was the reincarnated ghost, maybe don't first bill him and then only put him in like 10 minutes of the film.
He was actually in more whenever the Wraith was out of the car and he was wearing his still suit.
It was
Charlie Sheen.
I believe it was, but like you bill this guy first and then he almost never shows up on screen. I'm gonna figure it out pretty quickly.
I definitely got the feeling that the movie was shot in a certain order, and then they turned around on the editing room floor and moved shit around. Like,
No,
They give it
I agree.
That's how most movies are made, though.
But it just there was some
Well, not even like that, but like if you look when that waterhole scene you just referenced.
yeah.
If you watch and really look at it, the big bad villain whose name eludes me, it starts with a P.
Hacker.
His left hand is all wrapped up in a bandage. It's the
And
same hand he cut with the knife, but he doesn't cut it with the knife until like 10 minutes later in the film.
That scene, in my opinion, was the single creepiest scene. The one thing I liked about Packer as a villain is that yeah, he was like every stereotypical 80s villain.
He beat you over the head with the concept that Packer's a villain.
Well,
It's
but
almost like they had to remind you because when he wasn't being a villain, he's just one of the gang and he's kind of charismatic.
well, he was fairly charismatic. I'll give him that. And like he was definitely a villain. But the thing that interested me as a villain, like I mean, I wish that his death scene had been more. I was
the most
disappointed.
anticlimactic.
I was disappointed in his death scene that he didn't sort of like he was not aware of his doom. And when you have someone who they've made so much effort as being villainous, I want them to be aware of their doom. But
And it turns into a game of chicken instead of a more like the early deaths are very thematically appropriate.
Yeah.
When you pay attention to how Jamie died, being driven off the cliff with the exploding car, the
Yeah.
shotgun blast, blowing up the gas tank.
yeah,
Okay, so real quick, from TV tropes here, popular tropes from the 80s time period. Let's go through this list a little bit. Aggressive drug dealer. Not necessarily drug
Yeah,
dealer, but
takers.
aggressive pseudo drug takers. The dude's he's on automotive fluid, which is an
Hydraulic
obvious
fluid?
ham-fisted metaphor for drugs. Snorting WD-20.
And at one point, drinking a bottle of brake fluid.
yeah.
Amazon beauty standard of the decade. You kind of got that with like the ponytail, like her
Sort
kind
of,
of
yeah.
appearance. Animated adaptation, no. Anime, no. Badass in a nice suit, no. Big old eyebrows,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, no, due to the hair.
yeah.
boyish short hair.
Rughead.
Rughead, no, but no one had that.
Cold
No, I mean,
corporate,
yeah.
corporate exec, no. Cyberpunk, no. Dance sensation, there's like a
Cyberpunk, baby. His still
suit is kind of cyberpunk.
And also his car.
And his car.
The car, the spies they were trying for Cyberpunk, and the garage with all the neon everywhere.
That was a little bit of cyberpunk in that.
Dance sensation. There's almost a little bit of I want to dance happening.
Yeah,
Like
girls on the
it's
skates.
yeah, the girls on the skates.
Yeah,
at the
and
time.
then the drive.
Addicted to love.
Yes, I was so excited about that.
Dangerously short skirt. There's no short skirts, but the super short shorts.
Yes.
Yes.
And I would argue the first scene when Carrie is introduced, if you call what she was wearing a dress and not just a really optimistic shirt, then you got the shorts.
It was,
The
a
shorts,
really long, optimistic shirt. One, because of the fashion, but two, she's wearing her swimsuit underneath.
Well, she's wearing a jean skirt at the diner.
True.
She's doing this.
When
so
she's
I
wearing
guess.
the roller skates.
Darker and edgier.
Yeah.
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 Like there's rape references in there. Like it's kind
And
of
potentially an actual
behind the
rape
scene.
scene.
Yeah. Double standard: rape female or on male.
No.
Drugs are bad. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Don't do WD-40, kids.
WD-20.
Yeah, sorry. I'm the villain.
Do
but
me a
stop
favor,
drinking that shit.
get rid of that zombie piss before it turns you into a mushroom.
Dystopia, dark crime ridden into the future. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a police presence in the town for the first half of the
Right.
movie.
Did you notice there, aside from the cops and Maurice's uncle, there are no adults in this movie?
It's true.
Also true.
Earworm
Logan's
music from
Run.
the decade, very catchy.
Yep.
Music is super
All the
big in this.
soundtracks.
Soundtrack is very good.
80s hair.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen's hair. Just everyone's hair in this movie is out there. Erotic film? No. Foreign culture fetish? No.
No.
Football hooligans? No.
Well, there was a letter jacket. Member of the gang.
There was a letter.
Yeah, there's, yeah, kind of, I guess. Fur and Loathing? No, there's no fur in that movie. It's in Arizona. Generation Gap? Kind of like what you just said. There's like no adults in the movie.
And well, and it's like Loomis is like Loomis is ineffective for a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
So I would argue there's a little bit of generation gap. style.
Hotter and sexier. The movie has tits.
Yes.
It
Shirley
absolutely
Red
has
tits.
tits. I was quite a fashion victim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sherilyn Fenn's tiny, weird shirt dress.
Right.
Yeah.
Japan takes over the world.
No.
Lighter and softer.
No.
Compared to the more revolutionary and sociologically progressive 60s and 70s movies, the 80s were pretty tame. They were heavily merchandise driven and not subtle about it.
And it was based off the soundtrack.
Limited animation. You had some crazy visual effects in there.
There's
Some
that,
good visual
that
effects,
matte
too.
painting opening.
Masculine girl, feminine boy.
Yes. I would.
Not so much masculine girl.
Odie, or whatever his name is.
Augie?
Augie.
The new wave guy, the first member
Yeah.
of the gang to die.
Right.
That just might be my view. of
You
new
get
wave
feminine
style.
boy kind of, but not as much masculine girl.
Fair enough. There's only one girl in the whole damn movie.
Two.
There's a few, but not
Only one
There's
girl
only
who
one-
has a name.
There's only one relevant girl.
I think there's only one girl with lines, which is Sherilyn.
Yeah.
There's a trope called Mega Neko. Corrective eyeglasses tended to look like the size of dinner plates. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Rock
The
red.
That was
mechanic
just
of it.
level of glass technology.
Merchandise driven. There's a lot of name dropping on
Product
cars.
Yeah.
Especially
and
on
the
cars.
soundtrack.
And the
Yeah.
soundtrack, which
Soundtrack,
is
yeah.
probably
Montage ends the VHS. It's
Yeah.
when a commercial VHS tape has trailers, intros, or just a compilation of montages for.
It might have. I've never seen the
Yeah.
VHS. so-
Mood whiplash.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Moral guardians. I mean, again, with kind of that
Loomis.
the
That
drug.
zombie stuff.
Yeah, the drug, not a drug thing. Music of the 80s, which we kind of touched on.
Yeah.
It's all over the
I
music.
don't view that as
I mean,
a bad thing at all.
I mean, but and like the music genres in it are all over the map. You have
Yeah.
Ozzy.
Smoking in the boys' room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ozzy. It's all over the
Billy
place.
Idol.
Billy Idol when he goes to shoot up the garage, which is awesome.
Stan Bush, Lion, it's all over the place.
Right.
Nostalgia filter.
Oh yeah.
Pretty in Mink again. Fur.
No.
There's no fur in this. Pimped out dress.
No, actually, surprisingly enough.
Rich bitch. No. Shoulders of Doom again.
Oh no,
Oh, no.
Augie's trench
jacket.
coat's got power shoulders.
Yeah. Okay. Shoulders of Doom. Yes.
Got
Slasher movie. No.
Not really.
Well, I mean, it kind of. There's a dude who kills a bunch of people.
I wouldn't
It's
call
not a
it a
slasher movie.
slasher.
Sleeves are for wimps. Ripped off sleeves was
Yeah.
a standard
Yeah.
look.
How often, like the opening sequence, I'm Charlie Sheen shows up wearing a jean jacket.
no
shirt.
And
No shirt,
And
yeah.
my first thought is, if you fall off that bike, you're gonna have a terrible, like you're gonna lose a nipple. Like, it's just gonna be going, man.
It's gonna be from here to there.
And this is what Charlie Sheen has. One nipple.
Like that's just all I could think of is like, dude, you're just gonna lose a nipple.
Sweater girl.
No, it's Arizona. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it's definitely set in Arizona in the
There were a
summer.
lot of barely contained tits though, which is I think what Sweater Girl is about. Like when they're
Kinda, yeah.
with the hamburger.
Yes,
and everything
fair
like
enough,
that,
fair
with,
enough.
Like the weird roller skate waitresses.
Uncanny Valley makeup. Bronze,
not
not
a lot
sure.
of
No, but she was wearing a bunch. But
Skank wore the most makeup.
Yeah.
fair enough. Skank had some fabulous eyeshadows. Okay, I wish I could blend like
However,
Skank.
he had a very
Actually,
bad choice of highlights.
Anytime Carrie was at work, she's got a ton of makeup and lip gloss and everything on. But
true.
Uncanny Valley is pushing it a bit.
No, I wouldn't put it in the Uncanny
Valley girl. Not so much.
Not
She
really.
almost has like the Valley Girlish look, but she's not Valley Girl-esque.
No, it's true.
Vaporware, common in the first part of the decade, off-the-shoulder tops and tops with barebacks.
Yeah, there's plenty of that.
Clothes are
Again,
barely
skank.
that. Yeah. and Gutter Boy.
Gutter Boy seemed to have a shirt on most of the time.
Yeah. That's the list of common tropes from the 80s, more or
One
less.
thing I was going to counter for
So
the
that's
whole
a
thing
lot out of that
involving
list.
Packard.
Right.
Packard just threw up, and this is also because I took a class on it in college. He just threw up all the textbook signs of psycho.
No shit.
I actually put down. I wish I brought my notes. I don't think he's a psychopath. I think he's a sociopath.
Clinically speaking, it's the same thing.
That's more or less.
It's the same thing. It's whether or not it's a neurochemical imbalance versus a sociological factor.
I would think for the pop culture definition of sociopath,
Yeah.
because his obsession with Carrie, which is what I was going to say earlier, he's obsessed with Carrie, and then he's weirdly emotionally vulnerable about her. Like, almost looks like he's gonna cry, but I don't think it's actual emotional attachment to her. It's more ownership.
Yeah,
It'd be
which-
like, oh, I'm upset because someone took my
My
toy
girl.
car.
Which does mention with psychopaths, they do not view other people as people. They view them as objects. to be
Definitely.
acted
Well,
upon.
they talk about that in the movies.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm not your property. He's like, yeah, you are.
Right.
Well,
He
and he
views his
views
own posse
as
his
property. Like that whole sequence when the Wraith shoots up the
garage. He's
garage.
just mad.
He's mad. Everyone else is like, oh shit, we're gonna die. His emotional reactions are not right. Which at the beginning of
skank? I don't know, but it was weird and pissed off. That's my favorite line of the whole movie.
A reference to
Yes.
the thing.
Like, looking at it through the lens of him just being a psychopath.
yeah, no,
All
he's
of his behavior becomes sense, and also that ending piece where he's just focused on, I'm going to kill you. You've wronged me. That's all
Except
I
he's
care
not going to kill him, he's going to race him.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
so obsessive.
It's ego. It's the narcissistic aspect of
Oh, he's
psychopath.
definitely a narcissist.
Well, they're very comorbid.
At the beginning of it, I was like, is this the like the action choices this guy's making? But then as the movie went on, it was like, oh, this is gonna start to make sense. The whole blood lovers scene, I
That
was
was
like,
weird.
That was creepy,
It was
but like,
weird and
It's a
unnecessary.
psychopath
It's just-
trying to be romantic.
like it was
Here,
weird.
with my blood.
And like, but the thing that saved the scene is that Carrie's reaction was like absolutely like if I was sitting in there, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
It really just felt like a ham-fisted way to remind you that, oh yeah, this is a bad guy.
Yeah, it's true. I agree that it doesn't necessarily need to be in there, but the thing that's I feel like the actress who played Carrie, I wasn't necessarily impressed with her at first, but I felt like she actually did pretty well. I think she carried more than Charlie Sheen. The problem is like Charlie Sheen is in barely any of the scenes, and when he is, he's kind of playing.
How did we phrase it earlier? He shows up, pops out, does some Charlie Sheen shit, gets back in the car and goes kill somebody.
Fair enough, and like
Or
I
he
agree,
gets his suit on.
and then puts on a still
And
suit.
then doesn't lose moisture.
And
'cause
Mwah.
it's still so.
Mwah did
It's
was
like- It is Arizona.
And catch pockets on his thighs.
and
When you saw the river, you had to be confused.
and like Muad'Dib, like
Such wealth.
is a killing word.
I don't know what to do.
You know,
Swimming.
he will be God Emperor of Dune, but whatever. He was like, he showed up. He was he felt like sort of I don't want to say top down. That's not the word I want, but sort of like, hello, foolish mortals. I'm here to provide you with things. Goodbye. Like that was just Charlie Sheen shit. Like in the he never
in your cocaine.
Wait.
Wait. Sorry, WD-20.
Wait. I'm here. I'm gonna go dispense knowledge. No, excuse me. I have to get the Ferris Bueller's Day Off so I can get arrested.
It's the same guy.
Yes.
But like he feels very like sort of like benevolent. Like he has no character development.
You really
Everybody else in the movie has at least a little
I'll
bit of
dispense
character.
knowledge about how you have to live your life.
Here's
Now
a-
away. Remember, I'm 17.
Here's a few
Yeah.
awkwardly worded platitudes, and you're not going to see me for another 20 minutes.
Yeah. So like his.
Oh, you meant Charlie Sheen. I'm sorry.
Or Billy.
We thought you were gonna leave for 20 minutes. It was gonna be weird, but it just felt like that was sort of his character. And like, if you wanted me to not figure out he was the Wraith in the first like 5 minutes,
Right.
honestly, my big debate
He's got
was.
the huge scar on his neck.
Oh no, like
His
all
back.
the.
Which the only thing that pissed me off is he wasn't stabbed in the neck.
No.
He got
Like
stabbed
at all.
in the spine.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna stab you in the spine and cut up your back. Like
And
some
then
kind of
ran
BDSM
extra.
enthusiast. But in the first like scene where Charlie Sheen's like just chilling in the beach, not a beach, he's got this huge gash on his neck.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't stabbed there.
It's
though.
possibly like the shotgun round that caused the.
It's too long. It goes
It's
like
also
I
like
was thinking like it may have
identical.
like ripped through his neck.
Style-wise, it's identical together.
Yeah.
I am glad that they put those. They were there.
Yes.
Because a lot of movies in that style would just be like, look, there's no physical wounds, and they were consistently there in every shot that he was shirtless.
The first time I saw this movie, I was positive that they were just setting us up as a red herring. It was going to be no bearing whatsoever.
No, I wasn't the director.
The new guy who came to town who has all the matching scars has nothing to do with the Wraith.
No, I wasn't the director.
Yeah.
That would've been interesting.
Honestly, my big debate through this whole movie was he actually the guy who got killed, or some sort of like, and part of this is because I read Trav's comment that this is a World of Darkness recommends this as like a setting sort of thing.
Yep.
Is he some sort of like manifestation of the guy's emotions, but is not actually him? That was like where I was going to see where it was going. Is he,
Especially
like,
because he's a different actor.
yeah, like is he like some sort of his rage had generated some other kind of spirit, or if it really was supposed to be him? That was honestly my big question through the whole movie.
It's not a World of Darkness like setting thing, but a lot of the core books, like particularly
Reference it.
the first one that comes to mind is
Wraith?
no.
Morpheus.
No, the guide to the Sabbat recommends that you watch this movie because the way that because the way that the gang interacts is basically
very
a Sabbat
Sabbat.
hack.
Okay, that's fair enough. But I
And
was
this guy's the war priest. This guy is the abbot.
like, who's the abbot?
I hate that guy.
I'm sorry. My favorite were Gutter Boy and Skank. I
yeah.
love those two.
Gutterboy and Skank are probably
Yeah. I wish
like
they
some of
had
the
the
best
name.
characters in this movie.
The movie so speaking of Gutterboy and Skank, the movie has a really strong anti-drug message for a movie with tits in it.
But that's
Like-
also at that point they couldn't actually discuss drugs in a movie.
Well, right, but like, if you're gonna have an anti-drug message, you think of a movie that's aimed for kids.
Oh, this movie's only
Movie has
PG-13.
tits in it.
This movie is only PG-13.
They said, didn't they drop the F-bomb though?
Yes, what?
They dropped the F-bomb once, didn't they?
Did it?
Once
Yeah,
would have been enough
Skank,
for
you
them.
fucking pussy.
That's right. Okay,
Once would have been enough for them not to gotten hit
Yeah.
with the censors. That would have been their free pass.
that's true. You get one F-bomb in a PG-13 movie. That's right.
The 80s were a different time.
It's true.
A much
No, you
better
still do
time.
actually. You can still get one F-bomb in a PG-13 movie.
Major swear word, not just F-bomb.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna
They
say,
say shit.
There's
much.
several major swear words in
I
this
mean, if
one.
you're gonna,
Shit is not a major swear word.
if I'm
It
gonna,
is
if
for
I'm gonna
Hollywood.
fire the major swear word gun, why not drop my biggest artillery? I guess.
Like it's fuck or
Pull out the
like-
howitzer, just
Why not go for the big guns? I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a problem with the title screen, weirdly enough, which tells you how I started out this movie. It's The Wraith, but Wraith is here,
And the word
the
the
is
is
over.
on.
So I'm like Wraith, and I wrote Wraith, the title screen.
Wraith
Because,
Oblivion.
because I've played too many White Wolf games, and it's affected me as a human being.
Car driving game.
That is blasphemy. There's no such thing as too many White Wolf games.
Genius the transgression which you won't run.
It's not a
Casually,
real game.
casually disagree.
It's still an awesome game.
But it's not a canonical game. Just like I won't run Zombie the Coil. No matter how well it's written, it's not a canonical White Wolf game.
I like Billy. I wish he had gotten more character development.
Billy didn't get enough screen time.
Billy
I really
needed a lot
didn't.
more screen time. I would have loved like a subplot with Billy and Jake, like showing that brotherly relationship.
Exactly, they
For the
seem
fact
to-
that they're supposed to be friends throughout the movie.
Yes.
And you only see them interact in the beginning at the
the
water hole
very end.
and the very end.
We only had 90 minutes though. We gotta kill an entire gang.
That's fine. I
We gotta
don't.
get Cheryl and Finn's
That's
tits.
right.
I
could have solved
that's
that in
fine.
5 minutes.
I don't need these 5-minute drag or street racing scenes.
All of them are
Things.
so well.
I could have
done.
dealt with killing the entire gang in 5 minutes. You kill whatever his name is. Guy starts with an O.
Augie.
Augie right in the beginning. They're all waiting at the finish line. You just go back and get them in one go.
I misspelled Augie the whole time. I spelled it as A-U-G-G.
I was thinking Odie because I thought his intelligence level was the same with that guy.
Except there's that one wonderful one-liner from Packard where he's like, "Rip him a new asshole, do him Augie style."
Going to Ookum in the Duker?
Visually, I felt that there were some scenes where they just left the camera. The scene where Charlie Sheen is driving into town, I'm like, I don't need to. This is too long.
I like that long shot though. At the beginning.
There was
It's
a lot
good,
of
but I
it
just
where
felt
it
it
was
was
why.
too long. The scene when Augie dies. There's just, I feel like him going down the cliff, that burning car, which is apparently made of whatever explodes easily.
That
Yeah,
was to
like
reference
8
when they
cuts.
drove the car off.
That's
the
like a
pavement
David
and he
Lynch
shot
style.
it.
That's
But it
true,
was
like
just
those long
so
shots.
long. I mean, I would have used less of that, a little less Carrie, and a little bit more Billy. And I think
Right.
that would have been
And
like,
more Sheen.
no, honestly, like the way Charlie Sheen played.
There was enough Charlie Sheen.
There was enough Charlie Sheen. Like, I can't take Charlie Sheen seriously since Tiger Blood, and honestly, I wasn't taking him that seriously before then, so it's not like I changed.
I wonder if we could increase Jake's role if it were a different actor. It's interesting to note that the time this movie was being filmed, the actress who was playing Carrie,
Sherilyn Fenn.
was dating Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was originally
Supposed to be Jake.
it was going to be Jake.
That would have been a much different
Very
movie.
different movie. And then they
But
decided
He was also supposed to be alternatively Augie.
Augie, and alternatively the Letterman jacket, Minty guy.
The preppy guy, Minty, which is a dumbass name, by the way.
We were talking about 80s Depp. We're talking about full-on 21 Jump Street Depp, which is like a far cry.
Hair.
That's fair.
Yeah. Is he
in
That's fair.
Hair?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think.
Hairspray.
Hairspray.
Was Johnny Depp in Hairspray?
No, he was in. You're thinking about Crybaby.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Crybaby, which is
Yeah.
I got a very Mad Max vibe from this movie.
I didn't.
I think it was partly Skank's fault and partially the Road Pirates line at the very beginning, which kind of set my mode.
Skank's car was Mad Max's car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes
Yeah.
and no. It doesn't have all the.
Okay, and it was apparently it's the Cuda.
Well, I like the thing
Barracuda.
that they did with how they had they had like the World War II fighter plane, like stamps.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah,
that's
that
also
was
because he
badass.
works in like an air yard.
That's true.
That is actually the Arizona Air Force decommission facility.
Right.
There's just something creepy about just all those planes.
Yeah, I wrote down, is this like an elephant graveyard for
Oh, wait.
planes?
Yeah, it is actually.
Talk about another scene that didn't add anything to the movie other than time.
Is that?
Yes.
Is that air? Is that air?
The only thing we learned
Yeah,
from
that's
that
the
scene
Jordan.
is that Skank's
That's the
name is
actual Air Force
Maurice,
graveyard.
and that Gutter Boy smells French fries, but that don't make no
That's where
sense.
they decommissioned.
But is it?
I smell French fries, but that don't make no sense.
Harley Davidson and the Marlboro.
I mean, it technically is.
I have to rewatch it.
Mechanical
Yeah,
aptitude.
I
I
guess.
really avoid watching that movie.
I kind of like it.
But I mean, is it really
I
a thing?
did
No,
not get
it
a Mad
absolutely
Max vibe
isn't.
on that at all.
Well, I mean, I got Mad Max vibe in very specific spots. Not like I got a whole bag of Mad Max vibe for the whole
Which
movie.
flavor of Mad Max stuff?
They were going
listen,
for
teriyaki.
I've only ever seen Fury Road, so
Oh no.
They were going for.
I'm
Road
sorry,
Warrior.
I love
I did
Fury
not
Road.
get a Road Warrior vibe off that.
That's what they
The
were going
Road
for.
Warrior vibe is just full blown cars blowing up, guys firing crossbows
Well,
at
like,
each other.
the way the race scene took out when he's killing people, I did get kind of a Mad Max vibe from it.
Like original Mad Max.
Yeah, just from like the editing, you know what I mean? Because like it
I can
show,
see
like,
that.
Sudden cuts.
Yeah, the sun cuts and it'd show like people's eyes and people like shifting gears and shit like that. You know, they'd show like it'd like juxtapose with like different like stuff on the road.
But no one was the goose. They weren't
That's true.
as large as life and twice as ugly.
This
Augie was cooked like a goose.
This movie personifies a Top Gear quote for me in like the best way possible. There was a Top Gear episode where they were making fun of car movies.
Right.
And you had Clarkson who was being like making fun of like how super serious like a realistic car movie can be. And you had Hammond who was making fun of car movies that were like Hollywood. So there's a scene where Hammond's walking with a gas tank. And Clarkson's like, "Where are you going with that?" He goes, "I'm gonna go fill the lorry with petrol." He goes, "Why?"
The most English thing you could
Right.
ever say.
And he goes, "Why?" He goes, "Why?" He goes, "So that it'll blow up." And Clarkson, being like the super serious car movie, making fun of me, goes, "Why would the lorry blow up?" And he goes, "'Cause I filled it with petrol." That sums up the car races because they just fucking blow up for no reason.
Well, why? Because it's super bad.
Because they're filled with petrol, that's
Because of
why.
what Jen just said a moment ago, I now have an idea for the next video because Ryan or someone brought up not doing the setup win setup for like the month to month.
You bring up behind the scenes stuff. What?
Mad Max.
Moving forward. Moving forward. We're talking about the Wraith.
I also got, it felt very the street racing scenes felt very Fast and the Furious to me.
The street racing scenes for me felt very boring.
Yeah.
They were my least favorite part of the movie.
They were really well.
They were very well.
They
There's a
weren't
lot of
supposed to be
very good
Fast and
cameras.
Furious. They were going for Rebel Without a Cause.
Well, Fast and the Furious wasn't a thing. They couldn't go for it.
Footage repeatedly, like going over that
Yeah.
series of hills. They did it 5 times.
However, I give them the excuse for the first 2 scenes. Specifically, if you listen to the dialogue, the race that kills Augie and the race that kills Minty
And
is
then
taking
the
place
end-
in the same spot.
Packard at the end.
So okay, yeah,
They weren't.
No, but they said you have to get to Dragonfire Crossing.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
First one to try
Both
to
protocols. No, it was different the first time.
You lose the race, you lose your car.
That's awesome.
I don't think they were. I really don't.
I thought they were because I made a note
because
like I wish I
might
might
had they
have.
gone and said like you either give the car or you give your girl. Let me open my glove compartment 1 second. Fuck you.
But I thought they did because in that case, they provided it like they reused their shots, great. But at least they provided an excuse as to why.
I
really
also
think
that
were
Dragonfire Crossing is probably where they dumped his body.
Yeah. Also, it's an awesome name for a
Dragon Fire
Dragonfire
Crossing.
Crossing.
Sounds like a locale in a D&D game.
A lot of
They
the
have a lot of names like that out in Arizona because there's a lot of old magma fields down there, so there's all this igneous rock everywhere.
Toyota Moto or whatever they're called.
Valley of
Still.
Fire, yeah.
Dragonfire Crossing.
well, I was actually a lot of the naming felt very Arizona to me.
Yes.
Because a lot of it was like it kind of felt like Oregon Trail-esque, which would be what you run into a lot of. So.
You have died of Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, which died of dysentery, which would be a better way to go.
You have died of exploded car, eye burn,
You have died of plot hole.
whatever.
In Oregon Trail, too, you can totally die from having the wagon fall on you.
Nice.
I had it happen a few times. It's rare, but
And
it
if you
had
haven't
happened.
played Oregon Trail 2, you can also die of dysentery.
You can die of dysentery. You can die of ricocheted gunshot.
I have,
Oh, I've killed myself that way.
I
Yeah.
have a small gripe with the racing scenes. This is supposed to be a horror movie. It's supposed to be a ghost story.
It's not a horror
It's not a horror movie.
It's
a
only
sci-fi
barely
movie.
a ghost story,
Yeah.
honestly.
All of the racing
It's
scenes
a
are in
revenge
the
movie.
middle of the
That's it,
day.
right? That's what I don't have to
Like,
lie to.
yeah.
Except for the first one.
There's
Except, like the very
Which is
first
the only one without the Wraith.
Yeah. The only one without the ghost is the one at night, and it looks so much better. It works so well. They've got that wonderful creepy scene in the graveyard.
I do like when he like mashes him against the
And all the sparks go flying.
That's a good shot.
They just could have done, and like the chase scene where the Barracuda is chasing the motorcycle through the city at night with all the lights, it works so much better for the theme and the feeling and the mood they're going for. And the rest of the movie is, it's high noon, it's the middle of the day, we're just chilling down here at the old watering hole.
Right.
This could very easily be a plot for Porky's or Meatballs or Animal House or any comedy from this time period.
there's no tension.
Budget-wise, though, you're gonna have to shoot it.
Oh, there's
pretty
belligerent sexual tension, but it's also almost getting on the point of like rapey.
I mean, are you talking? No, there's no
There's no
not
suspense.
belligerent sexual tension between
no kind of
Packer
rapey.
and
The movie's
Carrie.
super
No, I was
It's
gonna
rape.
go with Jake and Carrie.
No, I would even say belligerent.
He's not on screen enough for there to be tension.
Well, and also there's nothing antagonistic with them. If you want to go for honest to God, the only romantic, I would say romantic, the only time where I was like, I wonder if those two are gonna hook up in the entire movie was honestly the Gutter Boy and Skank. I'm like, I think those two
It's
are a
more the
couple.
question of was Gutter Boy's Skank's 4-day virgin?
Like, I'm like, wait, do these two hook up? Because there's
They're probably cousins, but that would make sense.
there's no tension between, there's Packer being a creepball at Carrie, and then it is
There's
so.
Jake being a creep ball.
But Carrie's good with the creepball, and the one thing that surprised the crap out of me, the opening scene where he shows up on the bike and is like, "Hey, can you give me directions?" She turns around, comes back, and says, "Oh, do you want me to show you?" Normally, you get in that kind of scene, you get the guy going, "Hey, baby, hop on the bike and show me." It was very surprised for an 80s movie that she was the one to
Oh, so it does have that female aggressiveness thing that we said it doesn't
I
have.
guess if you want to describe that as female aggressiveness, yeah.
Sort of.
So that's
No, that's the rape. Okay.
No, that's just how normal people flirt.
Yeah. I don't know. I understand normal people.
We know.
so it very much surprised me that they sequenced the scene like that. So
It's
in
a
her
lot
shirt
of-
and pants.
There's a lot of surprising sequencing in that. One of the big sequencing things that annoyed the hell out of me is the way they handled Jamie's murder, the event that sparked this whole thing.
Oh, that.
Like how the cops have no clue about any of it.
This
He
guy's
was
been
murdered a couple
dead
months
for
ago.
what?
The cops never recovered his body, so he's presumed dead. You know, everybody knows he's murdered, but we never found his
I mean,
body.
to be fair, in a small town like that, the dude disappears out of nowhere.
Probably
No one
ran away to
found his
California.
car blown up in a
necessarily.
ravine.
Yeah. And like, none of the cops thought to ask, did he have a girlfriend?
Right, like
Yeah.
total misappropriation of police resources.
Yeah, but that's not where I was going. with
That's
this.
because it's the 80s. They're probably sitting outside of the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Randy Quaid was my favorite character. Absolutely.
He was surprisingly competent
He was.
when he finally showed up.
Okay, so the best scene for me, like Randy Quaid scene in this entire movie, is he's like talking to Billy, who's the burger guy, right?
Yeah.
In the kitchen, and he's got a tiny styrofoam cup of coffee.
Oh!
And he's just pouring and pouring and pouring.
So you gotta run out of company, dude.
For like a full minute.
I know, I watched that and
He
thought,
drinks it.
holy crap, there's more coffee, there's more
His
sugar in this
decaf
coffee. I
coffee.
absolutely agree.
Yeah, it was
Would you like some coffee?
no
with
one
your sugar,
reacts. Like, he
man?
doesn't react. The guy
I
was
know.
just kind of like in there.
I like-
So watching what.
I cringed at that, and Andrew was like, you know, you used to drink your coffee. I'm like, no, not like that.
I mean, and like, it's
That's
not like
not
a
like
little
Duck's coffee.
sugar. It's that, like, those old school sugar
Right.
dispensers. Just like,
That was a Bugs Bunny gag where like he should have taken a sip out of it, spit it out, and then put a little bit more sugar in it and stirred it up. And like, okay, that's good. That's an old school Bugs Bunny gag.
like
It needs a splash of milk.
when Randy Quaid finally shows up, because like the beginning of the movie, I'm like, is there no police in this town? Like, there's almost rape. There's that.
I thought it was a
street race-
post-apocalyptic movie at first.
Street racing
goes
scene.
back-
It's just Arizona.
No,
It's just Arizona.
It's not Australia.
It goes back to there's no adults in this town.
And then he finally shows up when the murder rolls in. And then he's actually like doing fairly well. And he's like,
But he doesn't really care about it.
no, I mean, he doesn't really care because it's like the town shitheads that are getting murdered. But he's doing his job. So I was actually quite surprised because usually in those kind of films, the cop is like an idiot. And he's not an idiot.
He
Other
is
than.
an idiot. He's a different type of
I
idiot.
mean, he's only a lieutenant sheriff.
Not Sergeant
No
Sheriff.
charge for the Sarge.
Oh, I'm a lieutenant, you know. No, you're a
I'm like,
fucking sheriff.
He's an
don't you
elected
know?
sheriff because there's clearly a scene, a board at the
Billboard.
beginning, a billboard that says "Re-elect Loomis," and the girl at the drive-in drops food off and says no charge for the sergeant. She's like, actually, I'm a lieutenant. I'm like,
So he
you're a
tended to-
sheriff. Like, what kind of shitty ass system do you have where your highest ranking police officer is a lieutenant? Did you invent something
That was
worse
a
than a
grassy
private?
bribe. That's something our sheriff actually hates.
Now,
What? Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a grassy
I
bribe.
know, believe
Oh
me.
yeah, I know because I took a class under the guy.
now, he was
General.
relatively competent, not thinking to ask if the kid had a girlfriend, notwithstanding.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was saying that the rest of the cops in the movie, anytime they show up, I could remove the background music and put in yakety sax, and it'd be just as
I
effective.
can actually excuse him not knowing anything about the case if he was the actual sheriff, because so much of the sheriff's job would be
It's
administrative.
political. Yeah, I mean,
It's a
that's
political
okay.
position, so
Yeah.
he might not know anything about that case.
But he was the only cop who wasn't from
Yeah, but if he's the only one who's competent, that means he actually got his position based off his competency.
Right.
This case might have occurred after he was sheriff, so it's like,
Probably.
what the
It's
fuck did my
realized.
subordinates not tell me about what's going on?
Has anyone ever seen the Blues Brothers movie?
Oh,
Yes.
fuck
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
No.
Every time there was any sort of scene, it's weird that I've seen a movie and you haven't.
There's been a few of those.
Where
We're
there was
on a
a
mission
car
from God.
What I
crash
hear.
scene. All I could think of are those massive ass car crashes that are in both Blues Brothers.
Oh, the
Where like car
Nazis.
after car after car after car
I
after
have
car.
seen Blues
So
Brothers 2000.
anytime
Oh,
there was
that's a bad movie.
What I hear.
But
Anytime there was a police blockade or like roadblock, and then like the Wraith just slammed through them, that's all I could think of.
Ooh, police.
Illinois Nazis.
I don't know if anyone's
I
seen Vanishing
hate
Point.
Illinois Nazis.
So those police blockades are like straight out of that movie. It's weird.
if I could circle back around to my original point,
Sorry.
the murder sequence is done in the movie as a series of small, like 30-second flashbacks spaced throughout the first half of the film, and it doesn't work. It's clunky. You get this awful red filter.
Ooh, I like that. No, it wasn't a red filter. That was an actual motivated.
Actually, like a red light.
That's
Okay.
red light.
That's fine.
Yeah, that wasn't a filter.
That's fine, but I think it would have been better if like you dropped it in as a complete scene later instead of these little 30-second flashes.
I think the flashback concept
Casually
was
disagree.
good, but the way
Or
they
they
addressed it was bad. So like the first time you get the flashback is during the beach, not a beach scene, but then it cuts right back into the beach, not a beach scene. And that's what threw me off, because like you get him kind of glaring at Charlie Sheen, and then he remembers murdering a dude. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right, that was me."
Oh yeah, I killed a man.
And then you're back at the watering hole with him staring at Charlie Sheen, and that's the part that causes it to be jarring.
And
It's a natural flow where he sees Charlie Sheen, and because it's the reincarnated spirit of the brother, it kind of reminds him of the fact that he murdered the guy. Because like the kind of
Playing
undertone
with
that's
it.
clumsily explained is that Charlie Sheen reminds everybody of the fact that he's Jamie.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You probably
then
would remind
for the-
him more if he actually was, in
It
frame.
was-
So-
yeah. But then like that flashback cuts right back to the watering hole, and that's what makes it clunky. It would have worked if they cut to a different scene.
That definitely feels like a made-for-TV movie. I do have I like kind of the flashback if I didn't know that Wraith was already Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, that's it.
Like maybe
Yeah.
if I saw this in 1986, I'd be like, ooh,
Well,
give me
except
a little bit of
that-
exposition over
that
time.
very first cutscene, right before we get to the flashback,
Right.
they pan over Charlie Sheen's back and he's got all the scars.
Right.
And then you see the other guy in the cutscene getting slashed up by the.
Right.
It's just, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I agree. I think
It's
that
like right then and there. Oh, he's the Wraith.
those flashbacks would have worked better if they weren't so obviously broadcasting that that Charlie Sheen was the Wraith, and they almost wrote it as if you weren't supposed to figure it out because you get more and more detail as the flashbacks reoccur.
It reminds me of the opening of Terminator 2. Where if you watch Terminator 2 and like with the mentality of in a vacuum,
Right.
you don't know that Arnold's the good guy.
True.
Right up until the moment where he like protects John from the liquid Terminator. You don't know that what the fuck's his name?
Patrick, Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick. You don't know Robert Patrick's a bad guy in a vacuum in that movie right up until that scene. You don't see him liquid Terminator at all. You just see him punch a couple people in the gut. You don't really know that he's turning his hand into a knife and stabbing someone.
Right.
And they made that movie on purpose like that. Like there's been an
If you watch the
interview
first one,
in his
you're gonna
commentary with James Cameron where he's like, yeah, we made this movie like that where you're supposed to think Arnold's the bad guy right up until that moment, except the commercials all showed Arnold being the good
They
guy.
gave it
He's
away.
on the Tonight Show talking with Jay Leno about the fact that he plays the good guy in this movie
He's
before
in
it
the
comes
Guns N'
out.
Roses music video.
It's absolutely
It's tight.
ruined by everything around it. But if you take that sequence in a vacuum, it works. It's the same kind of thing with Charlie Sheen here. Like,
I didn't know it was Charlie Sheen. I was definitely
Really?
I was definitely very tired when we watched it though. It was
Okay.
late,
I'm
and
gonna blame that.
Like I've been falling asleep in my recliner a lot for various reasons, but like when we watched it, when it was like, oh, I was like, what, right? Like I like actually was surprised by it. So I don't know if it was just because I was so tired.
I'm gonna blame the fact that you're super tired on it.
Or, because I just remember being like, what?
It's just one of those telegraphed moments that's super easy to figure out under normal circumstances.
Yeah, and he was surprised that I was like shocked by it.
Right.
So I think I should have noticed. I just.
Well, so I think I told you that Charlie Sheen was the Wraith before we started.
I was that tired.
Spoiler.
Yeah. She started at like almost midnight or something, and I'm usually in bed like by 11, so it was not
I love at the very end of the movie when Charlie Sheen's the Wraith and whatnot. He's your brother, and
he gives his brother the car that he's been killing everyone with.
That looks no different.
With like the
Looks
weird
no different.
engine. Like,
But like the words, he's like, only one of its kind, and it does very special things, which is murder. So
the instructions are in the glove box.
How to kill people.
Charlie Sheen, those were your last words to your brother.
The
Hey,
instructions.
the instructions are in the glove box.
Well, that and then like she goes off. And I'm like, she's just riding off into the sunset.
It's her
Sunrise.
Ghost.
Remember,
Sunrise.
just before she, just before they have that little hookup scene in the other watering hole.
A lot of water for Arizona.
Seriously? She's describing that she had a weird dream where the man in the moon was laughing at her, and then she's riding a motorcycle to the east.
No, but my whole problem is,
It's her
lady,
dream.
you just took off with a ghost.
Yep.
He ain't got no money.
Or a zombie.
He doesn't need money.
It's even more worrying when you know some of the folklore behind it. Very often, if you mourn a lost lover too long, their ghost will come back to take you to join them.
Right, the demon lover or whatever.
Whatever,
Yeah.
she'll still be with
So
them. She
she's
don't care.
going to die.
Well, yeah, because they never in this movie explain how Jamie came back.
No, it's true.
This could very well be a damn soul taking you to hell with him. He said it's a short trip. You're already in Arizona. It's already on.
Didn't he
Pack
say it was in
light, it's a
California?
short trip.
Well, that's
No,
what
no,
the-
Packer
the-
Oh, yeah, Packer.
Packer
Yeah.
said Packer. That was important. Packer was taking her west. Her dream said she needed to go east.
Yeah.
One of those minor details that.
What'd you have?
Well, just like you were talking about the similarities between this and the Crow, and I remembered, like in the Crow, like he's back on her to like avenge himself and his wife or his girlfriend, whatever. And but in the end, like they reunite with it. So this is like.
I've never seen The Crow, so
They
that
go-
ruined it.
What?
There's no movies tonight. I've been blown by
If it makes you feel any
If
better,
you
I haven't
watch
seen
the
it either.
Crow, you'll be like, holy crap.
This is
the
a Wraith.
Yeah, this is like the 80s
Yeah.
not gothy.
This
Wraith.
is like if the Wraith was good and we cast Brendan Lee instead of Charlie
Maybe
Sheen.
maybe Packer stabbed her before before that chase scene.
Possible.
Which was, by the way, like such an anticlimax.
It was.
That scene.
That's the other thing I'm getting is like she's getting on the bike in the middle of the night with this guy. Is she saying anything to her parents? Is she just vanishing in the night?
No, there's no adults.
There's no
Remember?
adults.
Elements
There's no
and
adults.
all of the like the Keystone Cops.
It's like Ed, Ed and Eddie. Like, there's just no adults in this town.
Right.
But
somehow she's got
kind
an
of adults, aren't they? They're young adults.
Yeah, I
In their
suppose.
20s.
Yeah, like there's really honestly.
Maybe it is a post-apocalyptic movie, and some kind of plague wiped out 99%
Oh,
of
maybe
the
it's like the
adults.
only lovers left alive book where everybody above the age of 25 commits suicide.
Yes.
And then
Except for the
rest of
sheriff.
people like left over are, like crazy freaking like mod gangsters. I love that book so much.
Isn't Only Lovers Left Alive a vampire movie?
It's a vampire movie and an awesome book.
All right.
And I will let you borrow if you want it. If you want
I
it.
have time.
But
Final thoughts.
Oh, I just want to add one thing. I didn't jump in with this, but Sherilyn Fenn, when she gets her tits out in the movie, she really didn't want to do that,
Aw.
and that ruined it for me because I knew how badly the director, pretty much forced her into it. And I think that's why you only see one for a minute, is because she was just and that happened to her a lot when she was a young actress. I read an interview with her about
Aw.
it, and she just was constantly pressured to get her tits out. 'Cause, I mean,
it's like
Right.
fine, you get the left one.
tits
It's
sell in
$20 a
movies,
second.
right? And she hated it. She's like, I really don't want to get my tits out.
Negotiation table. We
I
want
think
both of
this
your
was
tits
the
out for
first
5
movie that
minutes.
she did
I'll
that.
counter
Yeah.
with one
She's
for her
gonna
1
have her a
minute.
few times, when she was young.
So
Fine, but we want the right one.
Is
No,
that
how about the left
suggesting it in
one?
the flashback
Fine.
a couple seconds before that, where she's with Jamie, that was like a body double or something like that?
Probably.
Well, no, not. It's not that she didn't do it. She just didn't want to do it. I'm saying
Aw.
Sherilyn Fenn, she kind of, she was young and starting her career, and
Didn't
Right.
think she had a choice.
That's how
No, that
Hollywood
sucks.
so, I know it ruined tits for me. I was like, oh, she hated this, 'cause
She didn't enjoy this.
yeah.
She was mad.
She really regrets it.
If you're gonna get me bummed out about Sherilyn Fenn naked, which is like crazy girl crush. See, I contend that she's the reason I'm straight because I saw fucking like 20 gigs when I was like 12. Right? There you go, girls. Okay, nice.
That's the path I'll take.
Right?
See, don't
Good job. Good job, Audrey.
Don't throw the show.
Alright, I've got the last stage of my character creation ready.
But Jordan, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. This movie is, I think it's really well edited. I think it's when they actually decide to light the film, like when they're inside or at night, you know, it's very neon and freaking like atmospheric. It's very cool. I genuinely enjoy it just because it's like 80s is shit. It's like, and it doesn't care. It's like, it's not self-aware. It does not give a fuck about how ridiculous it is. It just goes for it. It's just like, here's the Wraith. Have fun. Go crazy. And it's weird to me, Final Crow thing, right? James O'Barr's The Crow, which is the graphic novel the movie's based on, came out in 1989. This came out in 1986. So I have a feeling that you ripped the shit out of this. Because, like,
So what you're saying is indirectly this movie killed Brendan Lee.
right? Because the way the Crow comic book goes, like the Crow, his girlfriend gets like raped and murdered on the road, like so like the gangsters are like a road gang that like find him like on the road.
So it's like the alternate history of this.
Yeah.
Where if the race with George goes different.
Yeah, pretty much. And but then like in the Crow the movie, the murders are like the murders in the
their
Wraith.
apartment, right?
Yeah, in their apartment. So it's weird. And there's a guy named Skank in both films, but not in the comic book.
But
Excellent.
it's not a whore.
It might be. We don't know.
No, he was
Only
he
for
was
Gutter
faithful
Boy.
to Gutter Boy.
Heidi, final thoughts?
I couldn't get away from the Crow stuff the whole time. Like, you put that in my head before we watched it, Jordan, so I was looking for it.
The Curse of Gotham.
It was weird. It was weird. Like, that's all I could see the whole way through. I was comparing every character to the Crow, and there's even Skank, you know? Like
Right.
there's a Skank in the Crow, too. So, not a Skank. Also,
There's a man named Skank, like a boy named Sue.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't my favorite movie. Like the soaking 80s thing was also like a bit. There was so much distraction in this movie for me. I think that's what it was, and that's probably why I didn't notice the Charlie Sheen thing being the Wraith, was because I was too distracted by everything else, and also like, totally exhausted. So.
That's fair.
Not a good movie. An enjoyable movie. Seen it several times. Not a good movie. I've often said that I'd like to see what would happen if somebody, somebody with talent took the script and, remastered it or something.
It'd be the Crow.
It'd be the Crow. So, take the race cars out, makes it all better. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Do yourself a favor. Go watch it. Don't make a drinking game out of it. You'll die.
This was 80s movies as shit. Like, it's not 80s as hell. I still feel like RoboCop kind of holds it. But, like, for 80s movie stereotypes, like, it's the king of them for me. I can't think of another movie off the top of my head that has more 80s movie stereotypes than this movie. Like, it's got lights on things that don't need lights.
Spots well.
It's got...
With a wooden stock.
With a wooden stock and a folding stock.
Right.
It's got like bad guys that are just bad guys and beat you over the head with it for those reasons. It has like the anti-drug message, the anti-bullying message, all rolled up into one. It has Charlie Sheen doing Charlie Sheen things.
Except cocaine.
Except for the cocaine. Because that would go against the anti-drug message.
That, and also he hasn't gotten famous enough to hook up with porn stars yet.
Like, it's just, it just oozes 80s. It's concentrated 80s, it sweats 80s, it breathes 80s, it exercises 80s, it, like, does power workouts 80s. 100%.
It does jazzercise 80s.
So, that's the thing. That's its new claim to fame for me.
Nice.
I liked it. I'm not gonna say I loved it, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I would watch an entire movie of the Gutter Boy and Skank just doing whatever, like doing their
The
life.
spin-off TV show.
Like,
Gutter Boy and Skank.
they were two of the best acted characters I feel in that entire movie, weirdly enough, because they were the two of the most distinct characters in that movie, I feel. And also, Skank had a very on-point makeup game. I was very impressed.
Wild boys.
Well, in the
mentality of 80s anti-drug movies. Friends don't let friends watch the Wraith. That's it.
Hey,
And,
we never
I-
touched on.
I love the
let
shit out of
nothing.
this movie.
It's more of a force.
I mean, it's not a good movie like Trav said, but it is an enjoyable movie. And I mean, I saw this. Shit, I mean, I've seen a lot of movies when I was like really young that I probably shouldn't have been watching. But this one
was
just kind of
one of
stuck
them.
with me, and I
Rocky
love
Horror
it.
Picture Show.
Actually, me too.
That was eight.
Real quick, does anybody want to say anything about the fact that when they crashed into the cemetery, the gravestones didn't even chip his windshield?
They were
That
foam
set it
blocks.
I did not give a shit.
Completely unrealistic.
Alright, well,
I mean, it bugged me, but it bugged me.
yeah.
That's all I got to say about it.
It didn't even bother me. I was just super excited that around to drink.
I think
I
the
didn't even notice it.
I think okay, so
Repeatedly.
I think the only reason it really bothered me was because at work just a few days ago we had a larceny of headstones at a graveyard, and I remember seeing it on my screen and going, "How do you larceny headstones? They're heavier than hell." And then I watched that happen in the movie and going, "They're heavier than hell. How did it not jack up the car?"
It's awesome.
All right.
Well, I think on that note, we're going to sign off for the night. We'll see you at Dragonfire Crossing.